Welcome back to Hippie Bliss Travel. Today is our second day on our vacation, and we're leaving Brookings. This is part of Brookings we're just driving through. They were getting ready for a Memorial Day parade. It was Monday, Memorial Day. Um, we're heading south, and we're heading to, well, eventually we're going to get to Eureka, to the hotel, is our next hotel. But we're going to stop in Crescent City, and then we're going to drive around a little bit of the Redwood National Forest. It was one of the items on my bucket list that I've always wanted to do. Yeah, we stopped in Brookings at a McDonald's for breakfast, and then we headed south. We didn't realize how close we were to the California border. There's the California sign. And between Brookings and Crescent City, it turns out it's only like a half hour drive. Did not know that. I thought it was going to be a lot farther. And anyone who drives across the state line into California, they have a fruit and vegetable inspection area. Usually they at least stop and ask, do you have fruits and vegetable? The lady kind of looked, just waved us through. I think they were looking for more like box trucks and stuff coming through. But yeah, we're still on Highway 101 heading south. We're going to um, Crescent City to the National Park Visitor Center. There, it opens at 9. We're way early, so we're taking our time. And a couple miles in, we found a pullover area. They had some people camping, and we stopped and just kind of took in the ocean view. But this is
But
Northern
turn it on.
California now. And we wanted to stop at the visitor center mainly to get like a map and to see, if they had any information. And if we had to pay like a national parks fee, entrance fee is what we were thinking. It turns out because Highway 101 drives right through a lot of, or not a lot of it, but some of it, of the national park, and some of it is a state park. So only certain areas had actual parking fee. Here, let me. Yeah, like some of the locations, two of them that we wanted to do, Golden Bluffs Beach and Fern Canyon, is one of the places that had a parking fee. But also during the summer, those spots you need a reservation because they get so crowded and it's limited parking. And when we went to make the reservations, they were booked the whole time. There was no empty reservation spots the whole time we were there. Here we are. This Crescent City Visitor Center is actually in Crescent City. And when we got there at 9, we kind of walked in the back way, and they had all these signs we were reading. So by the time we got in there, it was like, between 9:05 and 9:10, and there was already several people ahead of us. And yeah, they gave us this map, and then the lady highlighted in like a yellow marker some of the highlights. This is the map that the we picked up at the National Park Visitor Center. We stopped at the one in Crescent City. Let's see, like this is Highway 101, and it kind of goes through the national park. Some of it is national park, and up here is part of the state park systems, California state parks. So on the Redwood National Forest, most of it is free of charge. There's no like entrance fee. Certain locations there is like a parking fee for some of them. And when you stop, make sure you stop at the visitor center because they were very helpful with information. Like they can tell you, which are the highlights, which ones are good spots to stop. And we were gonna kind of ignore the northern part at first until we stopped. And then so let's see, where am I? So yeah, like here's the visitor center, and they gave us directions out to here, and there were several stops along here, and in the video you'll see, and then you can kind of come back around, and then we came down. We were staying in Eureka, which is south of here a little bit, even off the map. So Where we're heading to is Grove of Titans. Grove of the Titans, and it was one of the places that the lady had highlighted. And she also gave us directions from the visitor center, and they're specific from this visitor center. It was like go 2 blocks and take a left, and then go. I don't know. I stuck it aside to save it to read it on the video because they were the most accurate directions. But it was like go 1.3 miles and then you turn right here, and then it gets to the road is going to go down to 1.5 car lengths, which as you can see here, and then you go to where the road turns into a dirt road, which we're waiting for the biker here, and then you will go past the 2 outhouses till you get to the single outhouse. And I forget all the other little descriptions I gave, but they were the most spot on, accurate directions I have. They could have been Google mapped. They were very pinpoint, very, very accurate. This you crawl. My husband went down to a crawl, but the speed limit I think was only like 15 or 20 through here. Yeah, this is the road leading to the Grove of the Titans. And this one is in the Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park. So this is part of the state parks. So if a car came up behind us, we just pulled over. If we wanted to get out, take a picture. It is 1.5 lanes wide. It is traffic both directions, so you got to pick and choose who's pulling over. You can't really be going super fast. And even this was probably 9:45, even before 10 in the morning, and there was a lot of cars. And to get to the hiking, well, you see when you get to the hiking trails, there's a lot of cars parked. Now, the first trail that we come to that we did not stop is the Boy Scout Tree Trail. And on the map that you get from the visitor center, it tells you how far the trails are. And so the Boy Scout trail is 5.5 miles out and then 5.5 miles back. We figured we're going to skip that one this time. And this is the view. I opened up the sunroof on our car and I just took a video shooting straight out of the sunroof and just stopped at interesting points. And so this first day it was like, ooh, big tree, got to stop, take a picture. After like the second, third day, you're going, oh, another big tree. That's cool. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So this is that first stop I was telling you about was the Boy Scout Boy Scout tree trail. That's 5.5 miles out. And also this is where the double outhouses were. So we knew we were getting close when we saw that because the next stop was going to be the single outhouse, which is where we were going to get out and hike. And then we saw all the parking, so we figured we had to be at the Grove of Titans. So we pulled over and headed up the trail. On the map I got at the visitor center, not only when they tell you about the trails and how long they are, this one is the Grove of Titans is a 1.7 mile out and back, hour and a half roughly, they figure for the hike, and the elevation increases 137 feet. And then it's classified as yellow, which means it's a medium level trail according to the park system. And just for a size reference, my husband in front there, he's 6'1". So I mean, we felt tiny compared to these trees.
Three of them out of one.
Yeah, you start noticing a theme. No, I didn't notice it this day. I noticed on the second and third days. Is yeah, they got the tall trees, but then it's like the forest is carpeted with these ferns, and it's kind of cool. And then yeah, there was some metal steps that they've added in. I'm assuming for flooding when it gets muddy to keep the trails dry. And then we saw a little visitor. This was right off the trail. I mean, she was, 10 feet from us. No fear of humans. How long has it been laying down to be that much vegetation? There's the root ball. Ball is there. Here is the tree. And when you're tall, you really don't fit under there. You're still the tree. Vegetation still growing on top. Oh wow, so the tree
And it was
splits
cut off
here.
here to open up the trail because it keeps going over there.
Wow. And here is a different one next to that big ass long tree. Is the roots growing down it? And when you get to the end of the Grove of Titans, you're walking on that metal plating stuff again, and you just like do a loop around a bunch of tall, tall trees, and then you come back the same loop. Okay. Not, I didn't mean the same loop. Once you do the loop, you come back down the same trail that took you down. And as we were down at the end there doing the loop, I heard some volunteers, people were talking about that deer, and the volunteer said, "Oh, that deer's been there for days, maybe possibly up to a week, hasn't left the area." And as we were coming back, the deer was even a little closer to the trail. And again, she has got no fear of humans whatsoever. And there was quite a bit of people, we passed a lot of people coming in and out. So it wasn't like it was a slow day on the trail. And as we finished up at the Grove of Titans, here's the parking, and the outhouse should be coming up right. I think it's right off to the right over here somewhere. And we're heading down the road, and our next stop was Stout Grove, which is a 0.5 mile loop, 30 minutes to an hour. Elevation increases by 32 feet. It's classified as an old growth redwoods, Smith River floodplain. And the Park Service has this labeled as green as an easy walk. Can't see the end of the tree at the top. Oh, you can see, honey, you can see through it all the way. Yeah, this walk was flat, relatively easy compared to the other one. The other one wasn't, the Grove of Titans wasn't super hard. It just caught your breath a little bit with all the elevation going up, coming back, coming downhill was pretty easy. But yeah, it gives you, we were joking when you're filming and you go up to take the top of the tree, we always joke about the arch back, how much you had to arch your back to get the full shot in. After the stop at Stout Grove, we were gonna head on out to Highway 199, and as we were driving, my husband just pulled over. He goes, "I saw something out of the corner of my eye." He saw that little device that takes you across the river, and then how crystal clear that water really is. And here, this is Highway 199, and we're basically heading to 101, heading west. And then we're going to start to head down, work our way down toward Eureka. This is Crescent Beach, south of Crescent City. And then when we saw it, and there was a parking spot, we pulled over and thought a good stop for lunch. We always, when we do our big road trips, you always pack a cooler with some basic sandwich stuffs and some drinks. So we made some sandwiches. I think we were ham and cheese sandwiches and some sodas and then some little bags of chips we brought. And we thought, what a perfect view for lunch, a lunch stop. And then we're just continuing our drive down 101. And parts of it would be nice and sunny, and parts of it would be super foggy. And this is a stretch that was foggy. It wasn't super cold or anything. It was just foggy. Yeah, we pulled over to get some, pictures, and usually you got the nice California view where you can see for miles and miles. This day is just a different view. This is just another stop. We stopped along the coast on the way down to Eureka. I think there's a couple more. They were beautiful shots. I mean, we're water lovers, I guess what it is. The idea is to some point when we can retire, be near a beach, because both walking along the beach, getting our feet in the sand and the water, just it's revitalizing, I guess, or it fills the soul, I guess, type thing. But yeah, we stopped for a few minutes, enjoyed the beach, and then continued on, and I think there was one more stop. And after we got down to the Eureka, we checked into the hotel, and I'll do a review of the hotel in a different video. But then we went out to dinner at Adele's restaurant, and of course, I left my phone back at the hotel, so we used my husband's phone. And it was a great all American kind of diner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, great food, big portions, nice, relaxed atmosphere. But my husband's phone is temporarily not with us. When the phone gets returned, I will post the videos and pictures of Adele's. It was fantastic food. It was a couple blocks from the hotel, so it was walking distance. So I'm going to wrap up today's video of our first day in the Redwood Forest. If you made it to the end, give us a like and a subscribe. And next week we will continue in the Redwood Forest, a different part, and we will see you then. Have a good week. Bye.